helicopters flew by. Wow, what a great opening. Welcome to the 6th episode of Creepypasta Critiques. Man, it's been a little bit. It's been like 2 weeks. But yeah, I guess let's read the story. It's called The Rake. A lot of people say that this story is really good. I know a little bit about it, but I haven't read the entire story. So let's see if this actually belongs on the wiki. Oh yeah, guys, just so you know, if you're any scratching or purring, that's just my cat. Yeah, just a quick little disclaimer. During the summer of 2003, events in northeastern United States involving a strange human-like creature sparked brief local media interest before an apparent blackout was enacted. I think I'm reading that last word right. Yeah, little or no information was left intact, as most online and written accounts of the creature were mysteriously destroyed. I just don't like the idea of when stories do this you could probably find it, but it's probably deleted or something like that. Stories like this always do that, and I just don't like it when they do that. So we're not off to the best start, but it's got an interesting premise. Primarily focused in rural New York State, and once found in Idaho, self-proclaimed witnesses told stories of their encounters with a creature of unknown origin. This is very weirdly worded. I don't know how to explain it. It just seems kind of weird. I don't know. Emotions ranged from extremely traumatic levels of fright and discomfort to an almost childlike sense of playfulness and curiosity. While their published versions are no longer on record, because they're not real, and the memories remained powerful. Several of the involved parties began looking for answers that year. In early 2006, the collaboration had accumulated 24 documents dating before the 12th century and present day, spanning 4 continents. In almost all cases, the stories were identical. I've been in contact with a member of this group and was able to get some excerpts. I can't even speak from their upcoming book. I honestly feel like I'm having a mental it feels like I'm reading this, but I'm having I don't know, I'm having a spaz attack while I'm reading. What is going on? A Suicide Note, 1964. Alright. I want to do bad Creepypasta does, where they have all the silly voices. What's it going? Morgan Freeman, why not? I have an awful Morgan Freeman impression, but why not? As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to... What is that? Assuage? What? Any guilt or pain I have introduced through this act. It is not the fault of anyone other than him. For once I awoke and felt his presence, and once I awoke and saw his form. Once again I awoke and heard his voice, and looked into his eyes. I cannot sleep without the fear of what I might next awake to experience. I cannot ever wake. Goodbye. What even was that impression? First it started off as Morgan Freeman, and then it just got really weird, and then I tried to do a Morgan Freeman impression at the end. And also, what? Why are you referring to him as him? It just feels nobody, I don't know, I've never seen anybody's suicide note before, but I don't think that they would, be this vague. What? Found in the same wooden box were 2 empty envelopes addressed to William and Rose, and 1 loose personal letter with no envelope. What? You didn't establish that it was in a wooden box before. You're acting like we already know this. No, we don't. Why? What even is this garbage? Man, I feel like I'm gonna like lose subs over this because like everybody loves this story. This isn't like garbage. I don't know why I just said it was. I just don't even know what's going on. That's like the main problem for me with this story. It goes from like one thing to the next and like at like the speed of light. I don't even know what's going on. Dearest Lenny, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name. A journal entry translated from Spanish, 1980. I'm not gonna do like a Spanish like voice because I can't at all. I don't even know what a Spanish voice would even sound like. What? I have experienced the greatest terror. You mean I have experienced what? I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I see his eyes when I close mine. They are hollow, black. They saw me and pierced me. His wet hand. I will not sleep. His voice. What is this now? A journal entry translated from Spanish, 1880. What's a good one? What's a good voice? I was thinking that I should do a Biggie voice, but I can't do a Biggie voice. What would be a good one to do? He came to me in my sleep from the foot of my bed. I felt a sensation. He took everything. We must return to England. We shall not return here again at the request of the Rake. What even is this? Why? Why is this all like weirded so like weirded? Why is this all so weirdly worded? I don't understand what's going on. From a Witness, 2006. I don't know what would be a good voice. I couldn't think of like a voice to do here, so I'm just gonna use my regular voice. I can't even speak. 3 years ago, I had just returned from a trip from Niagara Falls. I've heard that's a pretty cool place. With my family for the 4th of July. Going to Niagara Falls in 4th of July? That's a bit weird, but alright. We were all very exhausted after a long day of driving, so my husband and I put the kids right to bed and called it a night. At about 4 a.m., I woke up thinking my husband had gotten up to use the restroom. I used the moment to steal back the sheets, only to wake him in the process. I apologized and told him, I told him he got out of bed. When he turned to face me, he gasped and pulled his feet up from the end of the bed so quickly his knee almost knocked me out of the bed. He then grabbed me and said nothing. Why did they just say though instead of thought? Why? What? Oh my god. Skeletons or whoever's running the wiki now. You better delete this thing. This does not hold up to the standards you want this wiki to have, man. If you keep the story on here, people like think that you're just like that you just don't care about having any integrity to the site. Man, this is garbage. When he turned to face me, where am I? I lost my place. Wow, I'm so good at this. Where even am I? When he turned to face me, he gasped and pulled his feet up from the end of the bed so quickly his knee almost knocked me out of the bed. He then grabbed me and said nothing. After adjusting to the dark for half a second, I was able to see what caused the strange reaction. At the foot of the bed, sitting and facing away from us, there was what appeared to be a naked man or a large hairless dog of some sort. Its body position was disturbing and unnatural, as if it had been hit by a car or something. Wow, very descriptive. Wow, this is such a great story. Man, I'm having a mental breakdown while I read this, man. Why is this still on the wiki? For some reason, I was not instantly frightened by it, but more concerned as to its condition. At this point, I was somewhat under the assumption that we were supposed to help him. What? My husband was peering over his arm and knee tucked into the fetal position, occasionally glancing at me before returning to the creature. What? In a flurry of motion, the creature scrambled around the side of the bed and then crawled quickly in a flailing sort of motion right along the bed until it was less than a foot from my husband's face. That's so non-threatening. I'm imagining like Sammy Classic Sonic then when he went like and was like waving his arms around. This is not threatening whatsoever. What even is this? Oh my god! The creature was completely silent for about 30 seconds, or probably closer to 5. What? It just seemed like a while. Just looking at my husband, the creature then placed its hands on his knee. He ran into the hallway leading to the kids' room. I, not separated from the period, screamed and ran for the light switch, planning to stop him before he hurt my children. When I got to the hallway, the light from the bedroom was enough to see it. Crouching and hunched over about 20 feet away, he turned around and looked directly at me, covered in blood. I flipped the switch on the wall and saw my daughter, Clara? The creature ran down the stairs while my husband and I rushed to help our daughter. She was very badly injured and spoke only once more in her short life. She said, "He is the Rake." My husband drove his car into a lake that night. What? While rushing our daughter to the hospital. They did not survive. And then what a small chance that you'd be the only one to survive that. My husband drove his car into the lake that night while rushing our daughter to the hospital. They did not survive. So you said children, like there were multiple. Did you just like leave them all behind, or did they all die in the car accident too? What? Being a small town, news got around pretty quickly. Being a small town? Are you a small town yourself? What? Wow. Wow. This is very well written. I love this story so much. Maybe that is proper grammar and I'm just like being dumb here, but I don't think I am, because there have been like multiple grammar errors in this story already. Being a small town, news got around pretty quickly. The police were helpful at first, and the local newspaper took a lot of interest as well. However, the story was never published, and the local television news never followed up either. So it's like the Biggie murder. For several months, my son Justin and I stayed in a hotel near my parents' house. After we decided to return home, I began looking for answers myself. I eventually located a man in the next town over who had a similar story. We got in contact and began talking about our experiences. He knew of... experiences? Okay, yeah, that means... alright, yeah. He knew of 2 other people in New York who had seen the creature he now referred to as the Rake. You said that there was, like, so many, like, sightings or something, like, that were all, like, deleted off of, like, the face of the earth. Like, so, there's not only, like, 4 sightings of this thing. It took the 4 of us about 2 solid years of hunting on the internet and writing letters to come up with a small collection of what we believed to be accounts of the Rake. None of them gave any details, history, or follow-up. One journal had an entry following the creature and its first 3 pages and never mentioned it again. A ship's log explained nothing of the encounter, saying only that they were told to leave by the Rake. That was the last entry of the log. Oh my god, what is this? I'm gonna have to finish the story in another episode. Wow. Join my Discord link in the description and reach out on Discord or YouTube if you want our channel promoted in a future video for free.